Et je tiens à remercier aussi Mohamed, je tiens à remercier aussi Laila, que je n'oublie pas parce que j'ai commencé avec Laila au MIC. Donc nous avons commencé depuis plus d'une année avec des jeunes porteurs de projets. Je me rappelle la première journée quand je suis arrivée et quand je les ai rencontrés. Bon, c'était des ingénieurs, je le dis, des ingénieurs qui voulaient devenir en fait entrepreneurs. Et ça n'est pas facile du tout, je peux vous l'assurer, parce que ces ingénieurs, ils ont tout sur le plan technique, ils ont des connaissances, ils sont très intelligents, ils sont très ambitieux, mais ils ont ce côté managérial qui leur manque énormément pour pouvoir réussir et justement arriver jusqu'au bout de leurs rêves. Et on y est arrivé, on a travaillé pendant une année avec des formations, avec du coaching. Nous avons 15 entrepreneurs aujourd'hui, entrepreneurs qui sont pleins de succès, pleins d'ambition, qui commencent déjà à rencontrer leurs premiers clients, qui commencent aussi à gagner de l'argent. Et je pense que ça, c'est pas seulement mon travail à moi, hein, je te remercie, mais c'est le travail de toute une équipe au MIC. Parce que le MIC, c'est pas moi, c'est pas seulement. C'est aussi les personnes qui sont présentes pendant des heures et des heures. J'ai vu travailler des gens jusqu'à 21h du soir, et j'étais étonnée. Donc, de voir tout cet acharnement.
We have a number of highly skilled and professional NGOs. So we started with the local NGOs, and then we saw the example of education for employment established in Tunisia, a very famous NGO non-profit that we collaborate with across multiple regions. I think Tunisia today is one of these great places where the collaboration is at its optimum value. So I feel really in a family, most of the faces we meet, I recognize a lot of work also from other companies, from the private sector. I mentioned friends from Intel, for example, with their challenge, people going to the universities, doing ideation camps, etc. So the same usual suspects, that's what I call them, are always there around this strong effort of promoting entrepreneurship and pushing startups. And then in this skeptical Tunisia, people would always question, okay, that's great, a lot of announcements, a lot of projects. Where are the results? So today, for me, is a celebration day for the results. So keep it coming, and thanks for the preparation.
Sabakir, bonjour. What a rare opportunity for me to practice my English, so thank you for that. I'm really pleased to be here this morning and to be able to celebrate with you the success of your program. And 10 years ago, actually just a little over 10 years ago, we had an idea. I was working in Egypt at the time, to bid on a license in Tunisia. And we ended up winning the license, and when we started a business, we decided to call Tunisiennes over in Sharjah. It was one building. Halid was a supplier there. I'm sure Microsoft was supplying something. We weren't really paying our bills on time. In fact, I think a few people didn't get paid their salaries a couple of times. But at the end of the day, we built a business that today is Tunisiennes, and today is the largest operator in Tunisia. But it started with one person, with an idea, and it started with a motivated group of people. And of course, we had partners, and we had banks, and we had all sorts of other things that came into place to help us be successful. But Tunisiennes never really forgot those roots as a startup. And personally, I've also had an experience starting a software company in Canada with some friends. And I think everybody, in a way or another, wants to be an entrepreneur. So when the opportunity came for Tunisiennes to formalize our enthusiasm for startups in the form of a startup factory, Halid and Eunice and I put together this program called Startup Factory. We funded 10 or more businesses so far. And I think the excitement is just beginning, because I think there's many more elements that are going to come together through partnerships.
Thank you to Microsoft for inviting us today to be part of your annual celebration. Also, thank you for your partnership that we have enjoyed the past 2 years in our Sukatanya, which I'll get back to. I think this, what you're doing here, and more generally what we're trying to do in Tunisia today, is critically important. We've had a political revolution that's still sort of coming along in Tunisia. We spend a lot of energy, we, mostly Tunisians, have spent a lot of energy on the political revolution. The economic revolution is still to come. And in my view, the most important part of the economic revolution that we're trying to push and that Microsoft is trying to help with is the part that allows people with ideas, sometimes crazy ideas, to grow, to solidify, to expand without being encumbered by predatory interventions from the public sector or part of the big private sector. Now I'm not talking about Microsoft. And that environment needs to change as well. And that we're trying to, in a public-private partnership with international, national corporations, including Microsoft, to do in Sukatanya. The public sector, the public intervention is extremely important in this context, because we can create a lot of private initiatives. If the public environment is not for it, they will never grow and be sustainable. So that's why enterprises or institutions like the African Development Bank and others, we can help on the political front. So can Microsoft, so can the US Embassy, so can other official partners. And that's why I think we eventually can be successful in what we're doing together in Sukatanya, because we have such a force of international, national, public and private enterprises that will shape that policy agenda, that will help these young people from disfavored regions, women not least, get a chance with good ideas to get triple support. Support in terms of financing, support in terms of knowledge, and that's where Microsoft comes in big time, and support in terms of network.